President-elect Joe Biden is working on transition plans from here in Delaware, while President Trump's team continues to challenge the election results. I'm Natalie Brand in Wilmington with how the Department of Justice has now weighed in.
A social media site called Parler is growing in popularity, but also raising some concerns. I'm Kate Kelly with a look at the app and who's using it.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
It's been nearly a week since Election Day, and President Trump has yet to acknowledge Joe Biden as the nation's president-elect. The president and his team are vowing to push on with their legal challenges to the election results. Natalie Brand reports from Wilmington, Delaware.
Even as Joe Biden was taking his first steps as the country's president-elect, President Trump and his allies continued to refuse to concede defeat.
This election is not over. Far from it. We have only begun the process of obtaining an accurate, honest vote count.
The president's legal team continues to launch challenges in several battleground states, including Pennsylvania. They say they've received numerous reports of mishandled ballots and other irregularities.
We're going to pursue all of this. Is it going to be enough? No, it's going to take time. Is it going to be enough? We don't know.
To date, only a few Republican senators have acknowledged Biden's victory. On Monday, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell expressed support for the president's effort to challenge the election results.
President Trump is 100% within his rights to look into allegations of irregularities and weigh his legal options.
Later in the day, Senate Majority Leader McConnell posed for photos with the 4 Republicans who were just elected to the Senate. The Justice Department has authorized federal prosecutors to start looking into allegations of voter fraud, but Attorney General William Barr said those investigations should not be seen as a sign the DOJ thinks the election was compromised. President-elect Biden spent Monday here in Delaware in virtual meetings with Vice President-elect Kamala Harris and their newly formed coronavirus task force.
There's a need for bold action to fight this pandemic. We're still facing a very dark winter.
Former Republican Delaware Congressman Tom Evans said Biden won his support.
I think it's time for Mr. Trump to say congratulations to Joe Biden. I think he can help unite this country, and that's one of the reasons I voted for him.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who spoke to the president-elect by phone Monday, says he's ready to work with Biden to end the pandemic and find solutions to other world problems. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Wilmington, Delaware.
Officials at the federal agency responsible for financing presidential transitions say they're waiting until the election has been certified to do so. 10 state attorneys general, including the Missouri AG, have filed an amicus brief in the Pennsylvania Supreme Court voting case. They're siding with the Pennsylvania Republican Party and asking that the court overturn a decision from the state Supreme Court allowing mail-in ballots to be received 3 days after Election Day, even without postmarks. Parler is a social media network that's been called the conservative Twitter. It was founded back in 2018, but it's grown exponentially, collecting more than 4 million users. KOAM's Kate Kelly takes a look at the app and its audience and talked with a local Parler user.
Parler has been around for the past couple of years, but lately it's getting more attention. One user in Grove says she sought it out after feeling fed up with social media networks like Twitter and Facebook that flag or block content it deems false.
I like the concept of there being a little more freedom in the discussions or opinions or the sharing of free thinking ideas. And so it caught my eye the other day and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to look into this. So I did.
Parler identifies itself as a free speech and unbiased alternative to mainstream social networks, offering a platform with seemingly little moderation.
Parler says that they do not dictate what a user's content or stream would be, but yet they give the user tools to either mute or block other users, influencers, or sometimes even terms that people don't want to see.
Replies on Parler are literally called echoes, something that can be reaffirming but also dangerous. A police chief in Marshall, Arkansas recently resigned after he posted threats of violence towards Democrats on the site. Slaving says it's important to remember that there are always ramifications for what we say online.
Section 230 is really so important for people to understand, because while the social media companies get to create their own policies and procedures for review of what is and isn't appropriate content, that there are still definitely those legal actions that apply to all of them.
Westcott says she doesn't plan on deleting Facebook anytime soon, but she would rather fact-check things herself.
I do believe in being open-minded, even in my own conservative views. Just because I view things that way doesn't mean I'm not willing to listen or hear or ponder other thoughts.
In Joplin, Kate Kelly, KOAM News.
Some users on Parler are people who've been banned on other social networking sites like Twitter or Facebook. Chris Warner joins us now with a first look at the weather. Some changes coming, Chris.
We do have some changes coming. They're on their way on our backyard, really, in Kansas with a cold front. Our almanac today, 79 is the high we hit. Well above average, not quite a record, but look at our low, 61. That was just a degree below what our average high should be for today. No precipitation, but that is about to change. Nothing on the immediate area in the SKYWATCH storm tracker, but we zoom out, take a look to the west. There's that cold front, and there are the showers and thunderstorms over in southwestern Kansas that are going to be making their way into our area in the very early morning hours of tomorrow. Temperatures right now sitting in the mid-60s to upper 60s for most of us, and those changes will be coming as the storms roll in early in the morning, that cold front right behind them, and that's going to end up dropping temperatures off to about 53 by 3 o'clock. We'll have a complete look at that forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, catch you soon. Boy, here's some encouraging news. Drug maker Pfizer says early data show its COVID-19 vaccine has an effective rate of more than 90%. That's a much better than expected efficacy if the trend continues. The so-called interim analysis looked at the first 94 confirmed cases of COVID-19 among the more than 43,000 volunteers. The volunteers got either 2 doses of the vaccine or a placebo. The data found that fewer than 10% of infections were in participants who had been given the vaccine. More than 90% of the cases were in people who had been given a placebo. The final goal of the trial is to reach 164 confirmed cases of coronavirus infection. Pfizer said in a news release it anticipates seeking emergency use authorization from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration by the 3rd week of November. The company says it expects to have more than 1 billion doses manufactured next year, and it would be free to Americans. A Missouri facility is among those that could be creating those doses. Missouri Governor Parson today tweeted that he's proud that the Pfizer facility in Chesterfield is leading the way on this critically important global development. The Newton County, Missouri Health Department is reporting 3 more deaths. Officials say there were a woman in her 70s, a man in his 70s, and a man in his 80s. This brings Newton County's death toll to 38. The Joplin Health Department has announced 2 more COVID-19 related deaths. Those 2 patients were a 75-year-old woman and an 87-year-old man. The health department says the 2 deaths are the city's 39th and 40th deaths. COVID-19 cases are on the rise in Joplin. According to the health department, there are currently 332 active cases within the Joplin city limits. The increasing number raises the question of whether the city might impose a mask mandate. Some residents are wearing masks into businesses and around town, while others are not. We observed people inside the Joplin Public Library and Home Depot today. It appeared that just under 70% of people were wearing masks inside Home Depot, and just over 70% wore them in the library. Mayor Ryan Stanley says a mask mandate is possible, but they're looking for more regional support first. The cause of the increase is due to community spread.
As far as the possible cause on the increase, I've looked at the numbers. There's really not one specific thing you can point to.
You can find the link to the COVID-19 dashboard for the Joplin Health Department on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. 4 state communities are finding ways to continue a holiday tradition as we continue to deal with the pandemic. KOAM's Zach Dodge has details.
The sights and sounds of a great parade. They're what let you know that it's finally the holiday season filled with fun and tradition. Something we could all use after a tough year. And two communities are making sure they happen even if they have to look a little different.
This year is a lot about adapting and not just simply canceling events, so we wanted to adapt.
In Joplin, the theme for the 50th annual Christmas parade will be Cruising to Christmas, where the idea has been flipped on its head. This year, floats will stand still, and residents of all ages will be invited to cruise down Main Street and get in the Christmas spirit.
People can be safe in their cars, but still, entities and individuals and floats can enter the parade and have their normal festivities. So to me, it seems like a perfect balance under these extraordinary circumstances.
Pittsburgh is also doing a reverse drive-by parade through Lincoln Park, and they're encouraging a lot of creativity to make it a night that no one will forget.
Whether it's kind of putting on a scene as the people are driving by or doing more dancing even potentially could be something that is fun for our patrons to see as they drive by. So creativity is definitely where it's at this year.
Pittsburgh's also making all entries free so that no matter what, we can mark the end of the year on a good note.
Just not having it, of course it wasn't an option. This is a tradition.
Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
Neither parade will allow candy or handouts. Pittsburgh's parade is going to be on November 30th. Joplin's will be on December 1st. Now tonight's KOAM News Now Instapoll question. Do the new plans for the Joplin and Pittsburgh Christmas parades make you more or less likely to attend? You can participate in the Instapoll at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote or through the KOAM News app. We're going to check back in on these results as they're updated live in just a bit. Still ahead, Joplin city leaders talk about the results of a survey focused on the future of the city and how art and nature are coming together in Pittsburgh. The council work session, Joplin city officials saw the results of their listening survey concerning the city's future. City Manager Nick Edwards launched the survey earlier this year. Questions on the survey included what is something Joplin could do better and what would you like to see change in Joplin over the next 5, 10, and 15 years.
This is important for everyone to be engaged. We're going to have to rally together. We're going to have to come together around this information and have some significant dialogues about how to make the community better. If we just let this sit on a shelf, it's not going to be effective.
Officials say the survey received nearly 1,400 responses. The city manager and council plan to go over the responses at a November 30th retreat. A tree carving in Pittsburgh is drawing some attention. Look at this. The tree is at a house on the corner of 11th and North Locust. A company called Carving for Christ out of Neosho, Missouri did the carving for the homeowner. It features a bear, raccoon, fox, owl, and a cardinal.
Chill bumps, just such a positive outlook, and the people who came by and were, that were so fascinated at their talent and what it would go from just this big darkened tree trunk into what it is now.
Yeah, it's great. The company donates a part of its profits to charities. They also sell items on their carvings for the Christ Facebook page. A little bit later, results from tonight's KOAM News Now Instapoll concerning the plans for the Joplin and Pittsburgh Christmas parades. Plus, it's been 19 years since the Carl Junction Bulldogs won a district championship, and now they're one game away. We're going to hear from the team.
Plus, things are warm and pretty nice right now, but there are big changes on the way. We'll have the full forecast coming up. Breezy and warm was the trend for today. We also saw some partly cloudy to mostly cloudy to partly cloudy to clear skies as the wind blew some clouds across the area. You can see those on the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort time lapse, of course, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. So here's what we saw over the last 36 hours. We saw these unseasonably warm temperatures. Not that many people were complaining, but we did see them warm up. We saw 78 on Sunday. We made it all the way up to 79 today. But if you like those warm temperatures, unfortunately, I've got bad news. If you like fall temperatures, then I've got some good news for you. We're going to see things change. Right now, though, in Joplin, not too shabby, 65. Humidity is still on the rise, 81%. Dew point sitting at 59. Wind's a lot calmer southeast at 6 miles an hour. And that's kind of the trend across the metro area. You can see we're sitting in the mid to upper 60s. And if you take a wider look around the 4-state region, that still is the trend as well. Mid to upper 60s, even some 70s out in southeast Kansas. Not anything to really complain about. The problem is again, for those who don't like the fall weather, those temperatures you saw are about as warm as it's going to be over the next 24 hours. Right now, nothing on the SKYWATCH storm tracker in our immediate area, but you see this stuff off to our northwest. That's what's going to be making its way in to our area in the next few hours. So we've had the warm southerly breeze bringing in the temperatures we saw today, and then you see these arrows pointing down. That's a good cold northerly breeze riding right along that cold front, firing off some showers and thunderstorms. A few of them have been a little bit strong. Even some wintry winter weather advisories up here in Nebraska. We're not going to see that, thankfully. It's not going to get that cold, but it is going to get chilly. Here's what we're going to look at. As we head into early tomorrow morning, the cold front comes in, brings showers, some thunderstorms. Nothing too crazy for us. And then it kicks on out of here by about 1 o'clock, leaving us with clear skies, which you'll see here on the bigger view. There's the cold front, 10 a.m. Here it is, some scattered thunderstorms in southeast Kansas. It pushes on through. And then you see the cooler temperatures. Look at Yates Center, 49 degrees. And it's not going to get any warmer than that as we head into Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, 30s for most of us. And it could dip off to the even lower 30s, depending on how strong those winds get. And it's not going to warm back up by much. 58 in Joplin, 58 Parsons, 57 Yates Center. 60 though in Veneta, a little bit warmer down there, but nothing like what we've seen. So over the next 24 hours, again, we're going to ride this little wave of nice little temperatures, and then the cold front gets here. There's those storms, and then they drop. 53 by 1, 50 by 4, and continuing to cool on through the night. But the fall-like temperatures will return for the rest of the week. 60 and clear by Wednesday, Veterans Day. 64 by Thursday, Friday, 53. And that's when we see another chance of showers and thunderstorms moving into the area. But overall temperatures, at least, are a little bit more seasonable for this time of year.
It's still not bitterly cold, so we'll take that.
No, not bad.
Thanks. Still ahead, the Carl Junction Bulldogs have a shot at a district championship. We're going to hear from the team next. After a slow start to the season, the Carl Junction Bulldogs have caught fire and are now in the Class 4 District 5 championship game. Sports Director Jacob Leonard catches up with the Bulldogs as they aim for their first district title in nearly 20 years.
The Carl Junction Bulldogs were 1-4 in their first 5 games this season.
Felt like we were a very, very good 1-4 football team.
We bounced back pretty quickly, I felt like.
Now, those Bulldogs have won 5 of 6 and will play for a district title this Friday.
Yeah, it means a lot to us, especially the seniors, because the last time we've been able to be in this position was our freshman year.
CJ beat Hillcrest 43-6 last week in the district semifinals. Quarterback Alex Baker threw 5 touchdowns to 5 different receivers.
Friday, it seemed like almost everything was working for us. We were running the ball pretty well. We passed the ball pretty well.
He's gotten better each and every week, I believe. He's closing in on 3,000 yards passing for the year. He has 27 touchdown passes on the year, so he means a lot to us.
On the other side, junior defensive end Josh Corey finished with 4 sacks, including 3 solo sacks.
It felt good, just getting off the ball quick, playing fast and physical. That's just how we got it done.
Very well put together kid, runs very well, has a very good motor on him, and he's one of the keys to us being successful.
Now, Carl Junction turns its attention to West Plains, the only team standing between them and their first district championship in 19 years.
I really feel like there's probably 4 teams in the state of Missouri that can win the 4A state championship, and I believe we're one of them.
Today in weights, actually, I was looking up in our gym at all the district championship things, and the last time we won one was 2001. And, I was thinking, that would be so cool if we got to put our own district championship up there. And it's going to mean a lot if we can finish that job.
Our kids have been there, done that. We just need to go up there and play our best game. If we can do that, I think our kids will handle themselves well.
In Carl Junction, Jacob Leonard, KOAM Sports.
Carl Junction will face West Plains on the road on Friday night at 7 p.m. Good luck, CJ. A final check on the weather is next. Take time now to honor a local veteran, Staff Sergeant Darrell Finley. The Chanute, Kansas native served in the U.S. Air Force. And we are proud to salute Staff Sergeant Darrell Finley. He's tonight's 4-state hero. All right, now tonight's KOAM News Now Insta Poll question: final numbers. Do the new plans for the Joplin and Pittsburgh Christmas parades make you more or less likely to attend? Just over a third, 34% say more likely, 66% say less likely. Poll is now closed. Thank you for participating. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas at Disney World. The resort released these sneak peek pictures of their new holiday decor. Say the wreaths have been hung, lights strung, trees trimmed in 3 of their theme parks. Right now, visitors can enjoy the decorations at Disney's Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios. Visitors can also expect special appearances by Santa Claus himself. Also, elves, his team of prancing reindeer, all of those. Eventually, the 4th park, Epcot, and Disney's shopping area, Disney Springs, they will receive their own festive makeovers, so they are decking the halls. You know, I've become accustomed to Christmas decorations going up by now or even earlier. I can never get my head around Christmas decorations in places with palm trees, though.
No, that seems just so out of place.
No.
It kind of reminds me of Home Alone.
Yeah, exactly.
It just doesn't seem right. You can't celebrate Christmas in...
Those of us who've grown up in the Midwest, you know, cold weather is part of the Christmas season.
Yes.
Ideally snow.
It has to be that way. It has
I would
to
think.
be. So.
I think. It's not going to be quite snowy, but it's going to be chilly.
It is going to be chilly. Temperatures are going to drop after a cold front moves in, brings us some early morning showers and thunderstorms.
Very good. Thanks for joining us. See you tomorrow. Let's take care of ourselves and each other.